Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nimafar and today we're gonna talk about advanced tech questions, part 1. Yesterday I taught tech questions on English Hub, the English Hub, the Discord server. You can also join my classes and other classes. There are many good teachers. I taught there, but I didn't cover all parts of my PDF there. And I said I'm gonna make some videos to cover those advanced parts. Okay, so here in this video, in the first part, we're gonna have a brief review about tech questions and Indonesian tech questions. But in other parts, it may have 3 parts. We'll talk about negative average frequency in tech questions, opinions, like I think, in tech questions, can you versus can't you. This is really interesting. In tech questions, double positive in tech questions, we will see. Indefinite pronouns in tech questions like someone, somebody, everybody, something like that. Ain't and in it in tech questions, about different accents, American and British. And we'll talk about something that you must not make it. So don't make this mistake. Wait for it. Okay, let's have a review, shall we? In tag questions, we have a clause and a form. For example, you are a teacher, aren't you? As you know, you are a teacher, before comma, that's the main clause. Aren't you is our form, the tag form. We have a main clause and a tag form. The reason we don't call it tag clause is because that's not a clause, is it? Aren't you? That's not a clause. Because then we say tag form. But how can we understand the tag form should be either positive or negative? For example, you are a teacher. How can I know that I should say aren't you or are you? Or maybe should you? Can you? Can't you? But we'll see. That's a good question, isn't it? This table here, let me bring it here. Okay, so if your main clause is positive, for example, you are a teacher, that's positive, right? Your tag should be negative, aren't you? You are a teacher, aren't you? Negative main clause, okay? Next sentence. She isn't a doctor. Isn't is negative, right? She isn't a doctor. That's negative. The tag should be positive. Is she? So, you are a teacher, aren't you? She's a doctor. She isn't a doctor. Is she? Positive, negative, negative, positive. But here, if you pay attention, we say you are, aren't you? She isn't, is she? That means you shouldn't change the tense and the verb of your sentence. For example, you are a teacher, can't you? That's ridiculous, right? So, let me go here. The tense and the verb should be the same in the main clause and the tag form. You speak Russian, don't you? You speak, you don't speak. So you speak Russian, don't you? We never say, for example, you speak Russian, isn't you? You speak Russian, wouldn't you? No. They should be linked. They should be the same. But one of them is negative, one of them is positive. We will see double positives in further parts, but generally negative, positive, positive, negative. You see, you speak Russian, isn't you? It's wrong. I'll cross it. So next one. For suggestions, we use let's. It means let us. Let's in the main clause and shall we in the tag form. Let's go to the part, shall we? Let's not drink, shall we? Let's play PUBG Mobile, for example, shall we? And let's hit the books. What is let's hit the books? What's the meaning of hit the books? This part is interesting. Look at this part. Type it down, the meaning of hit the books, in the comment section, and I will give you a free 30-minute speaking class with me to the first 5 correct answers. Okay, for example, 10 people answer it. The first 5 people will will receive an email. Actually, write your email as well, and I will give them a link to come join the class. All 5 of them for 30 minutes. We will talk. We will have a free discussion. actually speaking class, and I will treat your error there and so on together for free. So make sure you write the answer. Hit the books. All right, next one. Imperatives. Okay, for imperatives, we use an imperative clause. For example, do your homework. That's an imperative clause because there is no subject. You do your homework, he does his homework, she does her homework, I do my homework. Say, do your homework, right? This is an imperative clause, and of course it means you do your homework. So we use an imperative clause in the main clause, and we use one of the tags below. Will you? That's a common one. Will you? We can say won't you, would you, wouldn't you, could you, couldn't you. These, they are green, are formal. We're going to use them in formal situations. Can you, can't you, we will talk about them. And generally, let me tell you something. This grammar is informal. Okay, so don't, because I said, for example, would you, couldn't you is formal. Don't think like you can use it everywhere. You can use it with your, I don't know, in a conference, in a meeting, in child education. No, you'd better not. But if you, mostly for questions, if you are using that or you want to ask someone politely, for example, close the window, could you? You want to be polite with that. You can use this, but generally this grammar topic is informal. And can you and can't you, that's one of our topics we're going to discuss in further parts. Maybe part 3, I think, yeah. Intonation in tag questions, that's good. Intonation in tag question is really important. It plays a key role. We have either rising or falling intonation. Rising intonation, we use a rising intonation when we are using tag question to ask a question. For example, you are a doctor, aren't you? That's a question. I'm asking you. I'm waiting for your answer. So when we are using tag, actually we use a rising intonation when we are using tag questions to ask a question, and or we expect our contact to answer the question. What do I mean by and or? For example, you are a mechanic, aren't you? I'm expecting you to answer me. Another time we can say, let's go to the park, shall we? I'm still waiting for you to either agree or disagree with me. Or, open the window, will you? I'm waiting for you, I'm expecting you to do it. So, for that situation, we use rising. For example, he's a mechanic, isn't he? And many more examples I said. For falling intonation, it's like we use a falling intonation where we are stating our statements. When you're just saying your opinion. For example, it's beautiful, isn't it? You're just saying it's beautiful. And in this case, you do not expect an answer. When you say, it's beautiful, isn't it? You're not waiting for an answer. But maybe a confirmation could be great. For example, say, it's beautiful, isn't it? They say, oh yeah, that's really beautiful. We say, no, come on, it's not beautiful at all. It's different, agreement, disagreement, and so on. But generally, here, that's rising. He's a mechanic, isn't he? He's a mechanic, isn't he? For example, let's go to the park, shall we? But following information, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful, isn't it? It's like that. Alright, great. So wait for part 2. I'm gonna actually make the other parts. It may have 3 parts, but actually, I want to say this. You can download the PDF of current slideshow on my website. So head over to www.englishwithnimafar.com, then go to the PDFs page. Of course, check other pages as well. You can download it as well, along with many other PDFs I've uploaded so far. And don't forget to, once again, comment the meaning of hit the books and get a free 30-minute speaking class with me on Google Meet. So thank you, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you in the next part, the second part, and make sure to like it. Goodbye.